A resurgence in the medieval sport of jousting has seen it progress from amateurs on wild horses to a growing professional sport. Key points: more than 5,000 people attended the inaugural Orange Medieval Fair this weekend. More than 5,000 people attended the inaugural Orange Medieval Fair this weekend. Jousting competitors say the success of the event shows how much the sport has grown. Jousting competitors say the success of the event shows how much the sport has grown. Women made up almost half of the jousting competitors. In the 15th and 16th centuries, jousting was one of the most popular sports, as knights and noblemen risked their lives for glory. But in the 17th century, the sport largely out as people turned to other equestrian events. However, in the past decade, there has been an increased interest in the sport by everyday Australians wanting to be knights in shining armour. Luke Binks has been jousting for more than 20 years and has seen the sport grow from just a handful of people across the country to now include hundreds of participants. Luke Binks has been jousting and making armour for more than 20 years. "I used to travel from Brisbane to Bathurst just to have someone to train with," Mr. Binks said. "Back then it was just people with some very cobbled together bits of armour with sticks on wild horses trying to hit each other. It has evolved from that backyard jousting to a very refined sport where people are doing it professionally." Growing female presence. On Saturday, the Orange Medieval Fair showed how the once male-dominated sport has evolved. 3 out of the 8 competitors were female, which Renee Marisma hopes will inspire the next generation of jousters. "There is a good handful of us now who are actually jousting professionally, and there are a lot of girls in training," she said. "I hope that other females will see what we are doing and realise that they can do it as well." Jousters from Queensland, Victoria and New South Wales attended the inaugural Orange Medieval Fair. Mrs. Marisma says the opportunity to compete against men in a contact sport is a rare opportunity and something she relishes. "There is no handicaps, so we all ride exactly the same sort of armour, the same horses. We just ride against the boys and we do really well. It doesn't matter how much we weigh, how big or small our horses are, we just ride. We just have to get stuck into them." Find more local news, tell us your location, and find more local ABC news and information. Discipline is key. For former Australian Special Forces operative Philip Leach, jousting provided the environment he needed after service. "Special Forces and jousting is about discipline," he said. "Any sort of training, if you learn that discipline, it is going to help you. Prior to being in the army it was the discipline of doing martial arts, now it is jousting." The fair included Viking fighting, hawk flying and medieval cooking. Mr. Leach's 12-year jousting career has seen him compete across the globe and includes a world championship, which inspired his daughter to take up the sport. During that time, he has witnessed some of the sport's dangers. "Sometimes you go past and go, did I actually get hit? Because the armor does work fairly well. Other times your eyes roll back and you see stars for a second and then you wake up wondering what happened." Thousands of hammer blows. As well as being a jouster, Luke Binks continues the lost art of being a blacksmith. Mr. Binks said the methods used to create jousting armor had not changed in 700 years. "There is not a whole lot of modern machinery that can be used to replicate medieval armor because it is very specific in the way it needs to function and fit," he said. "There is usually about 6 months' work pursuit of armor, with thousands upon thousands of hammer blows." More than 5,000 people attended the Orange Medieval Fair. Mr. Binks says replicating armor used by knights during the 15th and 16th centuries is vital for the sport. "They also used this stuff to protect themselves and save their lives, and they perfected it. For us to come up with anything better than what they created back then is almost impossible, so we kind of have the gift of just copying what was made historically."